Welcome and good morning. Once again, new year, new topic. What makes us human? With many subtopics. This is a very interesting one, and I know that for most of you, it was very difficult to actually achieve and create a talk title or a speech. I've been thinking lately for the last maybe month when we actually came up with the talk title. We started getting ready for TED, and what I could tell you guys about what makes us human. It's something that is difficult to explain, but at the same time is really easy. Um, for the last, let's say, 20 years, when I was almost your age, maybe a little bit older, I believe that life was a little bit easier than what it is today. Okay, and today, and this couple of 3 days that are coming up, I want to know, and all of you, all of us over here, your teachers, we want to know what you think of what makes us human. So, without further ado, welcome again to the seventh edition of Lumuri TED Ed.
Welcome Odette Hurtado with her talk title being How Comparing Yourself to Others Can Be Good. Entonces, no. Okay, now yes. Why? Now yes. Okay, now what? Okay. Normally, comparing yourself to others is considered as bad. But have you ever wondered if there is anything good about comparison? If you have, please raise your hand. For those who raise their hand, today is your lucky day because I'll explain how comparison can be good. First, you should know that comparison is something natural, normal, and it's okay to do it. But a good way you can do it is by taking the person you compare yourself with as an inspiration to motivate yourself to be better. Instead of feeling small and thinking there's no way to resolve it when there clearly is. Second, you can look for any advice from the person you compare yourself with. And this will strengthen any future relationship in which you can search more help from that person if you need it in the future. Third, and comparing yourself to comparison can help you be more self-aware and therefore more effective at work, at school, at home, and in life in general. Also, comparing yourself to others serves as as an orientation to see where we stand in our group and wherever we need to take some action, improve or accomplish and performance. In conclusion, comparing yourself to others is something that no one can evade and is completely okay. But depending on how you do it, it can bring you both consequences and benefits. Thanks for the attention.
That was good.
Yeah.
She had a lot of confidence.
Yeah,
Um, the only thing I couldn't hear much of your voice because you didn't like pronounce the words like they are.
yeah, it was a tad
Yeah.
unclear.
Yeah, but like apart from that, it's very good. You had a lot of confidence, but another thing you kind of like did this sometimes. So yeah, but after that, everything's fine.
Okay, I okay.
So now we have Iblis Isabel Cruz, and her talk title is "The Day I Stopped Comparing Myself to Others." Give a round of applause to her.
Hey, have you ever compared yourself to someone else? Maybe, maybe a friend, a stranger on social media, or even a sibling. If so, have you ever stopped to ask yourself, is this helping me or hurting me? Well, I did, and what I discovered changed everything. Comparison is a double edged sword. On one side, it can push us to grow, to strive, to improve. It can inspire us to dream bigger and work harder. But on the other side, it can quietly our confidence, distort our self worth, and trap us in a cycle of never feeling enough. I used to compare myself constantly. I scroll to social media and see people who seem happier, more successful, more beautiful. I look at classmates who got better grades, or friends who seem to have their life perfect figured out. And every time I did, I felt smaller. But one day, I asked myself, what if I stop? What if I measure myself only against what I was yesterday? That shift was powerful. I began to focus on my own progress, my own values, my own joy. I started celebrating small wins, things no one else could see, but that mattered deeply to me. I realized that the only person I truly needed to impress was myself. So here's what I learned. Comparison can be a thief, but it doesn't have to be. When we stop measuring our worth by someone else's highlight reel, we start living our own story, fully, freely, and authentically. You are not behind, you are not less, you are on your own path, and that path is enough.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, it was really interesting.
Yeah, because I like the way that you said about comparing yourself, about your story, but you also put the comparing to others. So that's a very good part. I really liked it.
Okay, I have one question. What inspired you to choose that talk title? Inspire me because I used to compare myself a lot. I see my other classmates like they compare grades, they seem better than me, but then I realized that I only needed to impress myself. I only needed to do things that I like and everything.
Okay.
Okay, very good.
Can we applause for her?
All right, all right, all right, all right. Next up is Iram Cornelio with her talk title being "Turning Envy into Growth." Good luck. Hey, I have a question for all of you. Have you ever feel like you're not good enough compared to others? If you have, I want you to please raise your hands. Okay. For those who had raised their hands, I want you to know that that's okay. Not everyone is perfect. For example, me. I had compared myself with others a lot, but I'm not obviously going to tell you all of the times I have done it today. But I'm going to tell you a story of what happened. When I was in a volleyball summer camp, I used to do all the practices they asked me to do. Then, one day, a girl appeared and she only took two classes to get to the advanced level. At first, I I had done all the exercises and practices, and this girl who magically appeared get to the advanced level like nothing. But then I started questioning myself. Why did she get to the advanced level? Maybe she's really good at it. So I started watching her, how she played, how she did the exercises, and I started noticing that besides she was even younger than me, she was genuinely good at the game. When I noticed that, I started to compare myself with I started to compare myself with her again, but now in a positive way. I started noticing mistakes I used to make, and I tried to fix them by watching her play. And I started noticing the change I started making. But now, I'm talking too much about me, right? Let's go back to the thing. Compare yourself with others isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's because a bad thing when you do it in a negative way.
That was like really, really good.
Yeah, yeah, she talked very, very clear. She articulated a lot. She articulated a lot. Also, it was very creative, very, very good. I really
Yeah,
liked it.
her posture was very good. So talk more about like that camp.
Oh, the camp?
Hmm.
The camp was really good. I enjoyed every day I got there. I have friends. The only thing I didn't like was the exercises we used to do. We got very tired after that.
So did you compare more like to her or from you? Like, did you compare the things that she did, or like you said, "Oh, she does this thing, so I can do it."
Not really. I used to really compare that he was younger than me, and for me, I used to play very good, and this year only gets there so fast. And I started asking myself why. So then I started noticing that she was really good, and I started to compare myself with her, and I noticed that I used to make mistakes that were really bad. So I started to fix them, and I'm doing that now.
Okay, thank
Okay, very
you.
good. Round of applause.
Now we have Christian Castillo, and his talk title is Comparing Ourselves to Why Do We Do It? Why Isn't It Good?
Hello, hello. Good luck. Today, I'm going to talk about why we don't need to compare ourselves, especially in a negative way. And for that, I have two interesting questions. Why do we do that? Why it isn't good? We compare ourselves in a negative way for a mix of psychological, social, or cultural reasons. Also, we do it because it's human nature, it is normal. But when we constant compare ourselves, it can lead to a lower self esteem, anxiety, and even depression. And now, to finish, I'm gonna summarize it if you didn't understand. Basically, we do it because it's human nature, it is normal, like I said, and it isn't good because it can cause anxiety and depression. So now that you know that, I want you to do it in a positive way so you won't feel sad, and also you will learn from the others. Thank you very much. Wow, that was really good. I love how you were very like expressive, like showing your point to the public. You know.
Yeah, I really liked when you said crying and you did this. I really liked it. I really liked the movements that you did. And all overall, it was very good because I think I really like the title because all the because you're saying about comparing yourself to others and why isn't it good instead of your own story. So you're explaining why comparing yourself is bad.
Okay, so I have a question. Do you have any experience comparing yourself, and why you think it's bad? Um, I do not have. Well,
I don't remember any experience, but I maybe have that I don't remember. So, and I said why it isn't good because I don't want anyone to feel sad and I want them to feel happy. I want a better world.
Okay, thank you.
Very good. Okay, next. Okay, next up is Edgar Stefan, whose talk title is "The Bright Side of Comparison." Let's hear it.
Hi, my name is Edgar, and I will talk to you today about like my the presenter Manuel talked about. I'm going to talk to you about the bright side of comparison. So, when we talk about comparing ourselves to others, we usually think like, oh no, it's bad because you're jealous of others and you shouldn't look at them or some crazy stuff. But let that away. Let's let's stop hating and comparing ourselves to others. Better question. Am I comparing how I should? People usually compare and feel sad. They think the other's better anyway, and that makes you feel like but the impact totally depends on how we do it. And I will show you how I did. First, I realized that I was always feeling less and worse to whoever I compared to. Everybody was better, and I was going deeper and deeper. But then I got every time I compared, I was I was thinking the way they were better, and I was not seeing that I was better. So then I changed my mind and started to do this. Don't just think he is better. Think how can I be better? How what can I do so I be better than him? Let's do it. With this mindset, I stopped feeling less and I started being more confident and improving a lot. Remember, comparing is not bad and we can't really escape from it. And real success comes of beating challenges and improving to the top. Thanks for watching.
I really liked it. I really, really liked it
It was a,
because
it
I
was
think it was like a good part that he said. It was a very good part. And I think that I really liked the way you expressed your title. Like you said the story and your story about comparing yourself to others. That you said that you felt less than others. So I really like that.
I have a question. Uh, why why do you think there's a bright side to comparison?
Because normally when we think of comparing, most of the people just like they compare in a bad way. They see like the others better than them. That makes you feel bad. That makes you feel jealous of him. That makes you get envy, and that's not really good because you're just making bad of yourself. But when we compare, how I said, thinking how can we improve, thinking the good way, we get the bright side.
Okay,
Okay,
very
thank
good.
you.
Round of applause.
Now we're presenting Emmanuel Chassin.
You can't present yourself, Emmanuel. Well, good job. Just leave the mic over there.
Okay.
Guys, seventh graders,
Huh?
thank you so much for your attention. Okay. Right now it's time for you to leave and go to your other class. But before you leave, I need some of you to stay behind. So Emmanuel Chacín, Gianluca Lizardo, Isabel Martinez, Camila Rodriguez, and Manuela Costa. Please go, the ones that I just mentioned, sit at the back, okay? And the others will get you when your time comes up, okay, to give your speeches. So once again, thank you so much, seventh graders. You can leave.
And let's welcome to our next presenter, Emmanuel Chaffin.
When I was a kid, I used to compare myself 6 or 7 or even more times. But then I changed the way I thought and became more confident. Actors constantly measure themselves with other people who got the lead role, who cry more convincingly, who even got who even got the lead part and everything. But can you tell me how does that comparison can crush somebody's confidence, but it can also sharpen craft? Think of it of using the theater metaphor. No stage works if different roles tries to be the lead. Nobody can be the lead at the same time. So the comparison isn't the enemy, it's the director. It can guide you, but if you let it take over you, you can lose your own voice. Tell the audience that they're not auditioning for somebody else's role in life. Their spotlight isn't measured by the performance they give. Look, the truth is, nobody can give the performance as well as you can. Let's say I was in a musical. I've been in 6 musicals, and I've been the lead in 4 of them. But in two, I was in way back. I said, "Oh, I wanted to be the lead because that lead role was very important for me." But then I auditioned and I didn't got the lead. So I just compare myself. But then I said, let me stop comparing myself because if not, I'm going to let it take over you. And then I'm going to become more or less confident. So think of it as a casting call that you're destined to lose. No, think of it as the performance you were born to give. Thank you.
Okay, so that was actually a pretty interesting topic about how comparing ourselves can actually break us apart. Um,
Thank you.
so let's now invite him to a couple of questions about his set.
Hello.
Hello. So you talk about how comparing ourselves can break us or build us in the theater.
Mhm.
How do you come up with this idea of showing yourself of how you become that part of the, let's say, of the problem about, of course, because you're an actor. How do you come up with this idea?
I thought of it because, like, I like very much theater. So when the teacher gave us the opportunity to do the tech talk, I said I wanted to do a theater. I wanted to the title to be theater related. So I did it, and I really liked it because it gives like an example of how comparison in theater is.
Okay, so thank you so much.
Thank you.
Um,
Okay.
okay, so now welcome to the stage to Gianluca Lizardo.
Have you ever wondered if comparing yourself to others is good or bad for you? Well, let me explain. Comparing yourself to others is, in fact, a matter of perspective. it has both positive and negative outcomes. It depends on which side of it you're focusing on to get the different outcomes. If you focus in the positive side, you will see what people have or don't have. But these will make you work harder and improve. On the other hand, if you focus only in the negative side, you will see the other person's mistakes, but at the same time, you will punish yourself for your own mistakes. These can lower your self esteem and make you feel bad or useless or simply just not enough. If you find yourself focusing in the negative side, try reassuring yourself by thinking of your unique traits and abilities. But beware, if you praise yourself too much, you can become selfish or greedy. In the end, it all depends of your perspective. Try balancing your focus so the positive outcomes are more possible.
Thank you so much for that inspiring talk.
So yeah, that was actually pretty interesting about how the matter of perspective can actually define us to what we are. So now we invite him to a couple of questions. So that was actually pretty cool. I really like how you choose the is a matter of perspective to the topic what makes us human. What do you think is related, or how do you think it's actually really like important for us to learn about the matter of perspective?
Well, if people learn about how their perspective can change things, they will try to think on or act more positively on purpose.
So yeah, thank you so much. That was really cool.
No.
So our next presenter will be Manuel Costa.
Question: have you ever compared yourself to another person? If so, you probably didn't think much of it at first, right? Well, what if I told you that your mental health could have been negatively affected by that? Probably not, so that's what I'm going to talk about today. Comparing ourselves to others is almost instinctive. On social media, for example, we see someone's achievements or perfect moments and feel like we're falling behind. Psychologists call this phenomenon social comparison. Research shows that frequent upward comparison can increase can increase anxiety, depression, and low self-esteem. When we compare ourselves to other people, we often judge our behind the scenes against someone else's highlight reel, which distorts progress and fuels stress and burnout. Wait, 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 I wasn't done. In conclusion, comparing ourselves to other people doesn't define us. If we focus on our own progress and stop comparing ourselves to other people, we reduce unnecessary stress. We reduce unnecessary stress and build a healthier sense of achievement. With that, we honor our unique journey and make room to grow on our own terms. Thank you.
And
So
thank you again, Manuela Costa, for this incredible way to look at this topic.
yeah, it was pretty interesting about how like comparison can actually trap us as human. Now we invite him to a couple of questions. Um, so yeah, Manuel, how do you feel about performing this interesting topic about how the comparison can actually trap us as humans? That's really good. Thank you so much. Now, welcome to the stage to Isabel Martinez.
Hi. Hi. Today we're going to talk about comparison, something that everyone experiences. But have you ever thought if comparison is a friend or a foe? Comparison can be positive or negative. Positive comparison helps us grow, stay motivated, and learn from others. But negative comparison makes us feel sad, jealous, or not good enough. It's okay to compare ourselves because what really matters is how we use it. If we focus on the bad side of comparison, it becomes a foe. But if we use it to learn from others and improve, it becomes a friend. In conclusion, comparison can hurt us or help us. But if we use it in a healthy way, it pushes us to become better and reach new goals.
So, thank you so much, Isabel Martinez. That was actually a pretty good topic. I really like how you expressed how how important is comparison for us, how complex it is too. So now we invite her to a couple of questions.
So, what inspired you to talk about this topic?
What inspired me to talk about this tema is that I think most people have a lot of problems with comparison. So everyone has to know if it's good or bad. So we don't feel like we are the only ones doing comparing.
So thank you so much. That was pretty cool. Now, welcome to the stage to Mariana Sofia Martinez. Mariana Sofia Martinez.
Hey, have you felt the need to compare yourself? Thanks for being honest. I'll tell you my story. When I was new at Lumuri, aka Luis Muñoz Rivera, I used to have a friend which one I was very jealous of. She was more pretty than me, she was taller, she was more successful, richer, and delicate as a rose, but every rose has its spines. We fought over something very awkward, and I took distance from her. When we took distance, I got rid of jealousy. But jealousy made me develop a new self. But when I got rid of it again, I started focusing on what's positive about me. Comparing myself almost destroyed my whole social circle, and it made me develop anxiety with stress. Because comparing yourself has a negative and positive impact. The negative impacts are a decreasing of self esteem, self criticism, anxiety, even depression. And the positive side, we have that it could be used as a motivational tool. You could have a temporary boost of motivation, and it can show you your own weaknesses and talents. But what matters is to find your love and own satisfaction.
So thank you so much. I'm sorry it was Camila Rodriguez. That was actually a pretty good TED. I liked how you said that it's actually important for us to understand like comparing ourselves actually makes who we are. So we have a couple of questions. Camila, so for you, why is it important for us as teenagers to understand that comparing myself ourselves made up who we are?
We should understand it because it can cause depression and hurt ourselves for the future. So we should take care of comparing ourselves as teenagers.
That was really cool. Thank you so much. So now we welcome to the stage. Now we welcome to the stage to Mariana Sofia Martinez. Hello.
Hello? Okay. Good morning. Okay, be honest with me. Raise your hand if you ever felt like others are doing better than you. No matter what you do, there is always someone smarter or more successful. I often felt like that too, and every time I did, I felt jealous and smaller. So today, I want to share my experience and what I learned. I learned that comparing myself to others can hurt when I only focus on what I don't have. It makes me forget about my own strengths and everything I have already achieved. But comparing can also be powerful when I use it as an inspiration. Instead of thinking, I'm not good enough, I started thinking, how can I improve? How can I be better? This new way of thinking gave me more confidence and helped me enjoy my own progress step by step. It also taught me to celebrate other people's success instead of feeling bad about it. I learned that comparing myself to others is not always bad. It can be a tool to grow. So, next time you see someone doing something great, don't feel jealous. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Let's stop comparing just to feel bad and start comparing with purpose to become the best version of ourselves. And remember, you are unique and your journey is just as important as anyone else. Take every comparison as a chance to keep learning and growing every single day. Thank you.
Wow, that was amazing and really inspiring, and I love the energy.
Yeah, so that was actually really good. As Isabella says, I literally like share my the same opinion. So Mariana, that was actually pretty cool. So I have a question for you. That is, what do you recommend for teenagers to welcome this type of idea of comparison? Because after all, this is actually part of our growing.
Well, teenagers in these years, they are like they are feeling bad about something because teenagers they compare a lot. So in these moments in the Gen Z era, we need to know that all are us, all we are important, and all the people is better in something. For example, I'm better, I'm good in volleyball, but some people can be bad at volleyball. But I am so bad at football, but some people is so good at football.
That was actually pretty cool. Thank you so much. Um, so that was actually really cool. What do you think about it, Isa?
It was really inspiring, and I love her energy.
Yeah, I think that was pretty cool too. So the next participant is going to be Miguel Nicolas Peña. What do you think is going to be like? The topic is comparing is motivation. What do you think it will be like? It will be like interesting. What do you think?
Well, I think there's a lot of um, discuss about comparison and if it's with purpose, with motivation, or if it's hurting you. So I think this is gonna be a really interesting topic.
So yeah, now welcome to the station, Nicolas Peña.
We live in a world where comparison is an everyday occurrence. From the moment we wake up to the time we go to sleep, we compare ourselves to others, whenever it's our appearance, our success, or even our happiness. But what if I told you that comparing isn't just something we do, it's actually something special? When we compare things that we consider special, we often discover that the uniqueness isn't always obvious at first glance. For example, two kids might look similar, but the one that holds a personal story or memory feels it. Even in everyday life, like what to eat or where to go, makes us do better decisions and a deeper appreciation for the person. In conclusion, comparing is special because it helps us understand the world around us. It encourages better decision making, understanding, and better decision making. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, it was. Yeah.
So that was actually pretty good. Thank you so much. Now we invite him to a couple of questions again. So you talk about how comparing yourself is actually a motivation. Do you think like teenagers don't usually know this?
No, I think that teenagers use comparing to make motivation realistic because for like studies and better and homework and presentation.
So that was pretty cool. Thank you so much. Um, so it was actually a pretty good topic. So what do you think about it?
I think that was such a powerful message. And Sarah, in your opinion, what drives motivation more, discipline or passion?
I think it's more about discipline because we everyone knows how motivation is actually a power for ourselves, and it's actually we have to learn how to encourage that. So now we're gonna welcome Sara Gonzalez to Aries Human to Forgive is Divine. What do you think it's going to be about? Well, I think it's going to be about how human is actually really like encouraging to actually forgive people and how mistakes we make is actually what truly makes us human because after all that's a really good like making mistakes is actually what makes us human after all. So I think it's going to be a really good topic and a really good stage presence because as I know her, she has a really good stage presence. So now welcome to the stage to Sara Gonzalez.
In a world full of creative creatures, who of the most shines the most? The answer is none and all of them. All of them shine equally as bright, just in different colors. Maybe some are prettier than the others. And the one with the uglier colors look at the others and say, why don't I go that color? It's so much prettier than mine. Thus, they start comparing themselves to other people. They made a mistake, but the others didn't. They were this, but they were that. For years, that little creature was me. Uh, that for years was me. I would compare myself to the other popular girls, and I wanted to be like them. I saw them, everybody loved them, they were popular for a reason, and I wanted to be loved like that too. But I was unhappy trying hiding my true self. And to be honest, it was suffocating, really suffocating. It's not normal for a 9 to 11-year-old to be like crying because she isn't skinny or isn't as smart as the other girls. But I stopped comparing myself. I learned that if I stop comparing myself, I can be who I really am and find who I am without the mask that I used to always wear. I learned I learned that I should compare my work to my own and not to the other people's work and see my own improvement instead of focusing on other people's. I learned that if I go out of my comfort zone and be who I really am, I can meet people that I can ever be grateful enough for meeting. The people, my friends, who taught me to be happy, who taught me that I can be as weird as I want and not care what others think. The ones that taught me that no one really cares what I'm wearing. They're too busy, like caring about themselves to notice what I do or wear. Wear, say, just they don't care. They're too busy with their own stuff. Now, 2, almost 3 years later, I am way happier than I used to be. The second that I stopped comparing myself, even though it was a long road with empty, very, very tempting parking spaces, I managed to go through with it without taking any breaks and actually being myself, even if it was a long road, as I said. Uh, and hey, if you're ever uncomfortable or you think that people are watching you when you go out and display who you really are, like me right now, don't be. People aren't actually looking at you. They're too focused on themselves. They don't care what you do. And the most that you'll get is compliments on, hey, you're so confident. Or hey, I love what you're wearing. I'm love that show too, for example. You don't have to compare yourself. You just have to be happy. Stop judging people for being happy. Just be who you really are. And if sick is defined by what's different, well, then you can pull out the plug and let me die. Uh, and if you think about it, we're all gonna die one day. You just have to live your life as best as you like. So, Are you gonna accept the color of your shine?
That was amazing. That was actually a good stage presence, and the topic how you presented was actually with confidence. So now we invite Sara Gonzalez to a couple of questions. Hello.
Thank you again, Sara Gonzalez. That was a really powerful and honest talk. And it's crazy how social standards can shape the way we are and we see ourselves. And it's hard to ignore the pressure to fit in. So, how can people learn to find confidence without depending on social approval?
Uh, I personally just found it by looking at the people that surround me, the people who are comfortable enough to be themselves. I found that the people who are the happiest are the people who just are themselves and don't try to fit into the norm. And I think that if you just surround by people that encourage you to be who you really are, you can just be happier, stop comparing yourself, and push aside those social norms.
That was really good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So, Isabella, after all that Sara Gonzalez says, what do you think now about the topic? Is it good? What do you think about it?
Well, I said before, it's crazy how social standards can shape the way we see ourselves and how we see other things. And it's hard to ignore the pressure and here because social standards now is such a big thing now. And I think it's not about comparison anymore, it's more about competing with each other.
Yeah, I think the same is actually a really good how she performed it as a way, and it was really nice and really inspirational for us as teenagers how to understand that the people that we um, talk some days is not actually so pretty good. So now, welcome to the stage to Adelcy Prime.
Have you ever opened your phone? Have you ever opened your phone, scrolled just for 5 minutes, and suddenly felt like your life wasn't enough? Someone posts about getting straight A's. Someone's winning every volleyball game. Someone is already more popular or smarter. And you're just sitting there trying to finish your homework and wondering if chips counts as dinner. That was me. Every single day. I didn't even realize it, but comparison had become my full-time job. I was that unpaid boss of why I'm not good enough. So here's the turning point. One afternoon, I was watching a marathon on TV. There were thousands of runners, different shapes, ages, and speeds. Some sprinted, some jogged, and some even walked. And then I realized life is exactly like a marathon. The only finish line that matters is the one in front of you. So I decided to quit that miserable job of constant comparison. And you know what happened? Peace walked in. Peace came when I stopped measuring my life with someone else's ruler. Peace came when I stopped asking. My, Peace came when I started asking, why am I? What makes me grow? What makes me proud? Instead of how do I stack up? Now, I'm not saying I've mastered this because sometimes that little voice still whispers, look, they're doing better than you. But now I answer back, yes, but now I'm doing better than the old me, and that's enough. So if you remember one thing from today, let it be this. Peace isn't found on being ahead of others. It's found on walking at your own path in your own pace. Thank you.
That was actually pretty cool and inspiration for all of us teenagers that constantly compare ourselves and try to fit in groups that we actually don't get related to. So now we're gonna do a couple of questions to Adele. So we know that for teenagers, we know that it's actually pretty difficult to find peace by ourselves because we constantly are comparing ourselves to others and try to fit in spaces that we actually don't fit in, but we try to be cool or something. So, what message should you have for teenagers to understand that it's normal and it's part of growing, it's part of life to compare yourself and try to fit in a group?
That you need to be yourself and not look at other people, and don't be, and you need to be confident, and don't look of what people say.
Thank you so much. That was pretty cool. So I really like the message that she gave about how don't look at other people and just like focus on the groups that actually makes you good. So what do you think about the message that Adele gave us, Isabella?
Well, I think that was a beautiful talk, and it's true because nowadays we spend so much time comparing our pets and instead of walking our own. And we all want to feel like we're doing as well as others, but it only steals our peace.
So I said the same. So now welcome to the stage to Carlos Rafael Manzano Ventura.
Did you follow your line today? By line, I mean the path, the direction, and the decision that everybody takes every day, and that defines who we are. So today, I want to talk about what's your choosing your own line. From a young age, everybody, even our family and our friends, always try to tell what we're gonna do, and teachers always they have the meanwhile, but sometimes their voices can drown out our own. Making choices is not always that easy, but always you can ask people, but and still you can have your own words and take the decision by different equations and choose them for yourself. Thank you.
It was a pretty good topic and type of message about us as teenagers choosing our own line and how to choose our like path. So now we're gonna ask a question to Carlos Rafael Manzano Ventura.
Hey, so often as kids, we are told exactly what path to take. So, how do you think we can learn to follow our own mind instead? How do you think we can learn to follow our mind instead?
You can always ask people or even listen to your voices inside your head. Like if you have a question that somebody asks you, you can have different types of decisions and you can respond by yourself.
Okay, thank you so much. That was a really good message. Thank you so much for the viewers and the people that are here. So now we're taking a little break. So thank you so much.
Very good, very good. I just want to mention real quick that we've been here for quite a while, for an hour or so already, and the speeches that I've heard this morning, and also teachers that we've been here the whole morning, it's been messages have been astonishing. I just want to address real quick Sara Gonzalez. She's not here anymore, but I think that she gave a great message, and I hope all of you were able to just grasp a little bit of that important message of being yourself. Just be happy. So ninth graders, thank you so much. You can may leave, okay? And see you later. Let's go a 5-minute break, okay? Real quick.
Hello, my name is Dylan,
My name is Ingrid.
and today we'll be your commentators for this period.
Till 9:30 till 10:15. So, how are you doing, guys? As you know, today's that is what makes us human. What do you think about this topic?
I mean, it's a pretty good topic, and personally, I think that it can challenge your creative writing. You can really expand on it.
Yeah, I think the same thing about you because I'm really into philosophy. So, I have investigated a bunch of stuff that you can ask Alonso. I had a huge problem about doing my speech because there's a lot of perspectives between each of the philosophers. So it's really difficult to talk about this because each person has a different perspective about what is being humane and what actually makes us who we are and make us different to the animals.
Exactly. Okay. So right now, coming up, we have Emi Sofia Liriano with the topic "Happier Being Me." Welcome, Emi.
Hi, my name is Emi Sofia Liriana Uda. But first, look at the person next to you. Do you see the difference? Everyone is different, and that's what makes you unique and special. Today, I'm going to talk about the idea of being yourself. Being yourself means being confident, being proud of who you are, and not trying to copy others just to fit in. When you accept your strengths and even your weaknesses, you can discover your true values. For example, I like to do gymnastics. I like having good grades. I like playing video games. And I'm a very competitive person, but for nothing in the world, I would ever change those qualities about myself. If someone doesn't like me, I don't try to change them just to fit in or to be in their group. I like being me. I like doing what I do, and I have the support from my loved ones. And that's what truly matters. Being yourself also helps you build better friendships because people like honesty. It allows you to shine in your own way. So don't be afraid to stand out, to laugh at your own jokes, or to have big drinks, even though others don't believe in it yet. If you believe in yourself, be confident and proud of who you are, you can have a happy life filled with confidence, love, and respect. The best thing you can ever be is you.
That speech was great. I love it. Like, yeah. Uh, Usually, like nowadays, being yourself is lost because in 2020 everybody was being themselves like a lot, but now most of us are trying to fit into the standards. So it's I think that's a really important topic about how you have to be original, like being who you are.
I agree. So, Emmy, we have some questions for you. Personally, what does being yourself mean to you, other than what you said in the text?
Well, being myself means like for me, I show what I like to do. Like if someone likes doing TikToks or something and I don't like that, I like don't show any interest in that. I don't try to change myself just to fit in.
How can self-acceptance make someone happy?
Well, imagine if we're all the same, as I said in the talk, it will feel like reading the same page over and over again. So if you keep trying to be like others, like imagine you have weights in your shoulders every time they like are bigger and bigger. So if you stop comparing yourself, the weight are less and you can be free about yourself.
One last question for you would be, what advice would you give to someone who is not happy with themselves?
Well, I would probably advise them so to be themselves and to, don't be afraid to stand out. Like if they call you weird, it doesn't matter. Just Ignore them and be yourself.
Thank you.
That's actually like great advice. I like she really has like a great perspective about life and about self-acceptance, like I was saying before.
Yeah, she really did. I mean, right now we deal as teenagers. We also deal with a lot of peer pressure, which doesn't help us be ourselves or express ourselves fully.
Yeah, like uh, now we have like a rise of conservatism, like you can see in the U.S. That is a big problem now, trying to fit the standards, like the minimalism, the almond moms, like everybody like using beige, white, black, uh, the minimalism and everything. But that's far away of the topic. Now we have Ernesto Martinez from The Freedom Beyond Comparison. With
Have you ever had that feeling when you suddenly realize that you're better at something than what you thought? This usually hits when you stop measuring yourself against others. When you keep saying things like, he's way better than me, or I'm not that good compared to her, you discourage yourself to the point where you don't even try anymore. That's what I want to dive into today. Because we've all found ourselves in this situation in some point in our life. Comparing ourselves to others can really stunt our growth. It can even make you give up before you've even had the chance to start. Personally, I think that constantly comparing yourself is like being stuck in an invisible cage. You're so focused on what everyone else is doing that you forget to pay attention to your own path. It creates this it creates this never-ending cycle where you got your worth based on other people's success, which will always leave you feeling like you're lagging behind. But here's the thing. Everyone has their own pace and unique path. Picture a seed trying to compare itself to a towering tree. It will never believe it could grow into something magnificent. Yet, with time, that little seed can become even more impressive than the tree it always admired. That same goes for us. Your progress might not mirror someone else's today, but that doesn't make it any less significant. Instead of comparing ourselves, what if we focus on competing with our past self? What if we look who we were yesterday and aim to be just a bit better today? That simple shift can change everything, turning improvement into a stressful journey into a liberating race. A race where your success is defined by your own efforts, not by the shadows of others. So, the freedom beyond comparison isn't about ignoring others. It's about learning from them while staying true to yourself. Once you grasp this, you'll find the courage to keep growing. No matter how long it takes, you'll come to realize that the only obstacle you need to surpass is yourself.
so
So I think this was actually a very interesting topic. I really like the part where he talked about how people have different paces to do stuff because normally we compare ourselves to others. When, for example, we can complete something in the same time as others, so we feel bad. So
yeah,
yeah,
like the fear not accomplishing everything that others are doing and the comparison, like okay, but I can do better because they have like the same age as I am and they have done that bunch of stuff. So kind of difficult. But uh, why do you think people often compare themselves to others?
Well, I think that's because people feel uh, that they're falling behind or don't feel as good as other people because
of the constant uh, exposure on the internet, seeing like people traveling all around the world, eh, living like a completely different life. That's that's the reason I think.
What freedom do you think we get after we stop comparing ourselves to other people?
I feel like you. I think that you feel more relieved. You feel like you don't need to be, uh, like you don't need to be anyone. Uh, you don't need to be the mirror of anyone. Like you can completely be yourself without caring about how you are and that kind.
I completely agree. Thank you, Ernesto.
Um, that was great because often, and especially us as teenagers, used to compare ourselves with others. Like, oh, look at that influencer. I want that new skincare, or I want the newest iPhone, or whatever. So it's stopping comparing us with someone else or anything like that. Make us have some type of inner peace and just being comfortable with you, like as who you are and the conditions that you have.
Yeah, totally. Right now we have coming up Ethan Almonte with the topic Accept Your Role.
But accept yourself. So I would first like to start with that in this world, there are a lot of multiple people that may go and accept themselves or go and beat themselves. And there are sadly some models who feel obliged to act in some sort of way that they don't act as themselves. Moving on, these people act in a certain way that mostly doesn't reflect onto what they really are and isn't really good and probably needs to be changed. More on the way that society doesn't accept them. Now you would mostly think that a great a great a great solution to this would be to go and start accepting as a society. But you are right, honestly, you're right. But I have another solution which could be much more better for you and for the people that are here and for anyone in this world. And so I say this by telling you that you could fix yourself and be yourself, understanding that you shouldn't care about what others think about, and also thinking your own way and doing stuff by your own way. And learning from mistakes by yourself and this won't and the stuff that you may not understand that well. And for that, I go on to tell you one last thing. You are a star. What I mean is that you are a special person because of what you do, what you live for, and what you are. You're a special being in your own way. And if you make yourself become what you really want to be or what you would like to be, it could help to strengthen this speech and even help the public onto being themselves too. Not only from what I said, but from the actions and way of you becoming yourself that you may go and take from this speech. It could also only help you. It could also not only help the people here, but you. Now that was my speech. Thank you very much.
So, accepting your role, like something as a role is like a really interesting topic to me because the roles of every person have changed with time. Like the role of a woman and a mother, like in our life, we change our roles during our all of our lifetime, and the expectations of these roles all of life may change with the time, but is still something hard for each of us.
Yeah. So Ethan, what inspired you to talk about accepting your role?
Well, mostly I tried it from myself and from many other people I see around. For example, last year I used to act entirely different from how I act as of now because I wanted to be someone that wasn't me. Now, in this year and this month, I guess, I am someone who accepts themselves and who is themselves.
Do you think people can change their roles, or are they fixed?
Uh, what
Do you think people can change their roles, or are they fixed?
they can change the roles by going as what I did. I basically built up courage to myself to go and start acting onto who I really am and actually start acting onto who I would like to be.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
a lot.
I mean, I think it's going pretty good with all the tech talk that we've listened to. I really liked his speech at accepting one's role and trying to be someone you're not. I mean, it's really interesting. Right now, we're seeing a lot of that happen.
Yeah, like we're used to not accepting who we are, so that's kind of interesting. Now we have Jose Gustavo Morato with the power of being yourself.
Sometimes we focus too much on comparing to others or trying to be like others. Hi, my name is Jose Gustavo, and in my opinion, being different is what makes us human. For example, you're new in school and need new shoes. You go to the store and there is these red shoes everybody has, or these new shoes nobody has. You will choose the new shoes, right? The next day at school, you will call everyone attention and you will make friends just by being yourself. As a final message, I want to ask a question. Why do you have to be like others when you can be happy being yourself? Thank you.
Uh, we've seen a lot of similar topics today, actually. But I like how in every TED talk they have their own message. You know?
Yeah, like their own perspective of the whole topic.
Yeah.
Like what makes it main. Like I was saying, the start of or commentalism is that each person have a different perspective of what makes it main, what actually makes it human, and what separates us for other people and from other species.
Yeah, totally. And it also makes you think about the challenges one may face trying to be their self.
Yeah, we often go through a bunch of challenges through that process. Like people trying to discover, like, I don't know, their sexuality or how they consider themselves, like the gender that they have, or what they want to work. But
Totally. Right now we have Miranda Sofia Paulino de Man with the topic Inside Out. Welcome, Miranda.
Hi. Hi, I'm Miranda, and I would love to ask you something. Have you ever compared yourself to someone else? Have you have that insecurity that made you feel as vulnerable as a tiny bug? Maybe it was about your looks, personality, grades, sports, anything. Well, yeah, me too. Comparing myself to others felt like my full-time job. Every time I did, I felt smaller, less valuable. Like I was always one step behind from every single girl I saw on my day to day. Like I saw beauty in everyone except me. But then something actually changed in me. I realized that the people that I was comparing myself to were actually kind of doing the same thing. The people I thought had it all together were actually looking at someone else and saying, "Oh, I want to be like her. Oh, I want her hair," or something like that. I th- um, and that actually hit me and made me realize if we're all comparing ourselves to others, no one actually wins. When I finally stopped, well, okay, maybe it didn't completely stop. I'm not perfect, but when I started noticing my own lane, I began to see things differently. I noticed that I laugh in this weird way that makes my friends laugh even harder, or the way my eyes smile, the way my eyes squint when I smile, or the way the arms I have hated my whole life have been able to create such beautiful things. I noticed that my perspective, my story, my mistakes, even my struggles, they're all mine. And that's what makes me me. And I learned to be happy with me. With all these tiny weird features and imperfections, they all compose myself, me, Miranda. And I'm fine with that. That's when I realized uniqueness isn't just some word the school psychologist just throws around to help you cope. It's literally what makes us human. No two people have the exact same story, voice, or way of seeing the world, and because of that, they shouldn't be expected to act the same. Our story is different, so why should we behave like each other? That makes no sense. And if I spend my whole life trying to be like someone else, the world misses out on how what I have to bring for my whole self. So here's what I want to leave you with. The moment you stop competing with everyone else is the moment you start discovering your own self. The moment you start creating your own path. And you should follow it to find your true and only self. That's where the real value is. What makes us human isn't being better than someone else. It's actually all about being yourself. Thank you so much.
The insecure part is kind of interesting though, because we usually think like, oh my gosh, she's so beautiful and she seems so secure about himself. But what we not think about is that everybody has insecurities, everybody has problems, and we usually don't see what others are going through.
Exactly. So, Miranda, how can knowing yourself from the inside out help improve your life?
Knowing yourself makes you feel secure about yourself, makes you know what you want. When you don't know what you want, you actually don't choose the same. You don't do the same decisions that you will do as if you feel confident. You usually feel peer pressure. You don't do what you want to do, and when you make what you want to actually do, you feel happier.
What message do you want others to take from your speech?
Huh?
What message do you want others to take from your speech?
I just want everyone to know that if you're different from everybody else, that's actually super good. If you were if you were alike to someone else, you would be super boring. Like, if imagine someone wanted to meet you and they already know your mom, and you're just like your mom. Wouldn't that be boring? Yeah. So that.
Thank you very much.
I actually agree. I don't know if you have seen like the films about the monotony life where everybody is the same and
Yeah.
how everything like gray or black or white and we are equals, don't have anything special. We're just another number, another person. Nothing makes us really different from others and we're just there being another one.
Yeah. I mean, this topic reminded me of a little phrase that I'm unique and different like everyone else, basically.
So now we have Montserrat Bello with the idea of being confident.
Have you ever wanted to do something but then stopped because you thought you weren't good enough or because you thought people would laugh at you? Maybe it was raising your hand in class, sharing an idea, or even trying out for a sport. That feeling, that hesitation comes from a lack of confidence. And I'm sure this has happened to everyone. So today I'm going to talk about the importance of being confident. What does it actually mean to be confident? Confidence isn't about being perfect. It's about believing in yourself, trusting that you have value to share with the world, and believing that you are a good person. Confidence allows you to take risks, learn from mistakes, and grow. When you're confident, you're not afraid to try. You step into opportunities. And when you live with confidence, you open the door to happiness because you stop comparing yourself to others and start caring about becoming the best version of you. But let's be honest, being confident isn't always easy. There will be doubts, fears, and challenges. The difference is how you respond to them. Being confident means saying, yes, I'm nervous, but I'm going to do it anyways. Imagine how much better our lives will be if we spoke up in class, tried new things, and weren't afraid of being judged. That's the power of confidence. It changes not only how we see ourselves, but also how we experience the world around us. So, my message for you today is simple. Don't let fear control your choices. Confidence is not something you're born with. It's something you practice. Every time you take a small step forward, you build it. I hope after hearing this, you start finding ways to be yourself, to embrace confidence, and to live happier and braver every day. Thank you for listening.
So, Dylan, do you consider yourself as a confident person?
Honestly, no. I often deal with challenges um,
I got
for being confident.
you.
But yeah,
No, I got you there because that happens to me most of the time. I'm just kind of brave for doing everything, but most of the time I'm scared. And we'll have some question for you, Montserrat. How can someone build confidence step by step?
So basically, you first need to think that, like, you don't need to care about what others think because what actually matters is what you think because people, like, sometimes they're just jealous and they criticize you because they are bored and they have nothing to do. So I just think you need to believe in yourself.
yeah. Um, what role does self doubt play in gaining confidence?
um can you repeat again the question?
What role does self doubt play in gaining confidence?
Self doubt.
Doubt.
Like doubting of yourself. Like,
Oh, I think it's like you doubt of yourself because, like, when others criticize you, you start thinking like, no, I'm worse, or like they are better. I need to be like them. But I just think like you need to be yourself and stop comparing yourself to others because every one of us is different and everyone has different opinions, different, like, they're different.
yeah, that's actually right.
That's pretty good. Thank you.
Yeah, I think I think you have to be pretty brave to actually be confident because the the fear of other judging you is always there, and that you have like that self awareness and that self esteem is the actual word to being confident and believe in yourself is actually great. Like that's a really important value.
Yeah, I mean, it's easier said than done, right? So, right now, coming up, we have Sara Alfao with the topic from comparison to growth.
How scared am I of failing? People say that making mistakes is just part of being human. But in a world that always wants us to be perfect, messing up feels like it's not an option. Have you ever had that little thought in your head that says, I'm better than you, I'm way ahead? It can repeat over and over. And other times, our confidence gets hurt by people who seem to be waiting for us to make just one tiny mistake. For better or for worse, we all wish we could be perfect. Let's think about the word world. I could ask you what it means, and you all give me different answers. But I bet many of us would agree on one thing. The world is the world because we are all different. When we think we're better than others, we feel powerful for a second, but we've also felt that loss of motivation when we feel less important than someone else. Comparing ourselves makes us feel bad, insecure, and steals our happiness. For example, imagine you study all night for a test, and the next day your friend gets a better grade without even trying. In that moment, you might feel like your hard work didn't matter. But the truth is that your work builds focus and strength, and that's something no grade can ever take away from you. Trying your best always feels good, and as we grow up, we'll each figure out what the word success means to us. We compare ourselves because we want to be this perfect version of ourselves when we're adults. But everyone's path is different. Because what feels like the top of the mountain to me might not be the top for someone else. Comparing ourselves leads to tears, tripping up, failure, doubt, and feeling like we're not good enough. It just brings a lot of stress. That's when you realize that your value doesn't come from being better than someone else, but from becoming the best version of yourself. And let's always remember that comparing is the fastest way to take the fun out of life. Everyone gets their own time to shine. Thank you.
So, hey, that comparison thing. Like, as you were saying, we often compare ourselves with others, and that might bring us to the outside, a lot of us insecure. So, that's something part of our lives, and mostly when you're a teenager, because you're seeing the war between the adulthood and your childhood. So it's kind of difficult because you compare yourself with a bunch of other people, and you're trying to figure out who you are as a person. So,
Exactly. Welcome, Sarah.
we have a question for you. So, what strategies can help people focus on growth instead of comparison?
Well, I think that people shouldn't compare themselves because that only like on your mind like all day you need like I need to be perfect, I need to be like them or I need to be like her and that only stress your head. So I think you should focus on your own things like how can you be a better person and stop comparing yourself to that people because sometimes people compare to a lot of people and sometimes only to one people. So I think you should like mind on your own things and you should remember that you're a great person that you and you also need to remember what person do you want to be because and so that is what's going to help you to stop comparing yourself to others.
Pretty good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you here. It's a pleasure to have all the participants here. Uh, I think like in a process of growing, like I was saying, like we're in our teenage year, we're trying to get to adulthood. We are in 12th grade. We have to decide which university we want to go, and we have to decide our career, what we're going to do our whole life till we die. I mean, we can change it, but we have to choose some type of path that we can have in our life from now on.
Totally.
So, now we have Sebastian Peguero with Why Everyone Should Be Different.
Being compared sucks, right? Imagine if everyone in the world was the exact same. Wouldn't it be way more boring? Well, I think so, and I'm going to prove to you why I think that way. Hello, my name is Sebastián Peguero, and I'm going to talk about why everyone should be different. First, everyone is unique in their own way. We all have different ways of thinking, different ways of doing things, different characteristics, and different ways of being ourselves. Apart from the facts that we are all from Earth or that we all come from the same human race, these small things have a very big impact on how the world is. I know that we could perfectly understand each other if we were all the same, but it's not as great as having the opinions and understanding of people like our friends and family. So, without the difference, the world would be pretty monotonous and boring. Secondly, there wouldn't be many innovative ideas. This is because we all have the same mindset, meaning that we would all reach the same conclusion. Breakthroughs are made by individuals and multiple people. For example, Sir John Harrington had the amazing idea to invent the toilet, and Thomas Edison created the first light bulb. Both these people made amazing things, and yet they had drastically different mindsets. Without these, humanity probably wouldn't even progress as much, and the important things that we enjoy wouldn't be here. Finally, I just want to say thank you for listening and paying attention, and remember, being different is what makes the world, well, the world. So just be whoever you want to be. Thank you.
This was another another very interesting topic, actually, which really leaves you thinking. I mean, our differences can both separate us and also bring us together. I mean, humans are naturally curious, so having people that think differently or do things differently makes you wonder why. And yeah,
So we have some questions for you, Sebastian.
Okay.
So, why do you think society often pressures people to be the same?
About society pressuring people to be the same. Well, I don't think that's a really good idea because if you pressure someone to be someone they don't want to be, then it'll be way more stressful for the person.
how do you think embracing our differences can make the world better?
Embracing our differences, because if we didn't have any differences, then it would all be the same, and that'd be pretty boring, right? So, since we're different, it would make the world way more colorful. You know what I mean? And fun.
Totally would. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
As you was saying before, everyone being the same.
Okay, guys. For this block, I think it's been great. We've heard a lot of excellent topics, a lot of excellent messages, and something that stands out is that all of us we're different, and it's not of no good use of comparing ourselves to others. That being said, we'll have a break of 5 minutes. So thank you so much again.